Hey everybody, Brenda Crouch here. I'm actually at the Grand Canyon and it's mid-December, so it's very cold outside. There's a little snow on the ground and I love being here. We always enjoy, my husband and I, taking a road trip kind of at the end of the year, beginning of the year, just to decompress a little bit, take in the sights, and we just love to see God's beautiful country. It's been a couple years since we've been here, and behind me you can see this amazing sight. This is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and man, every time I'm here, it just blows my mind, and just all over again. And you know, I'm thinking today about how the expanse and the depth of this canyon and this great divide from one rim to the other rim back behind me. And you know, we can really take that as almost a word picture and apply that to things in life that cause such division. We're in a time in our culture, our cultural wars and our cultural confusion and misunderstandings and racial hurts and wounds and just global issues around the world that are wanting to divide us. But as human beings, we really all are one, and we're all God's creation. And you know, the scriptures actually say that the things that cause divisions are being worldly minded and being devoid of the Spirit. Well, what Spirit is it referring to? I believe that's the fruits of the Spirit, the things that only the Holy Spirit can birth within us. And you know, some hurts and some offenses that cause such division, maybe in families. You know, we're approaching the holiday season here, and often families have a lot of angst and anxiety about getting together because of the division within their own bloodline. And so I want to encourage you that it is the Spirit of God and the Creator of all these beautiful things that can actually give you the kind of grace and the kind of strength and the kind of love that would fill such a void that you could not possibly humanly fill on your own. It takes that kind of presence in your life to be able to accept the things that you can't change and to change the things that you can change. And I certainly know what it is to live with those kinds of wounds within family and in relationships that have meant a lot to me. Things that damaged me so badly that it really just kind of put a chokehold around my neck and held me hostage in some ways. And I really believe that it's those kinds of wounds that divide us even within our own soul. Would you know what it means if I said that sometimes we actually struggle with being split in our soul and being fragmented there in your soul? And I really just feel like that this is a season and this is a year as we finish out this decade that we can look positively into the mirror of God's glory and His love and say, I'm going to step into that kind of grace, and I want to apply it to my family, to my relationships, to all my friendships, and to all of humankind, and to be kinder, to be gentler to people because His Spirit is within me. You know, we don't have to wear our feelings on our sleeves, and with Him we can actually mature to a point that we can have a grace and we can have a strength that we can actually help somebody else who doesn't yet know how to find that same sweet spot and that same kind of love for themselves. As I was reading on in the book of Ecclesiastes, it says, "You who are young, be happy while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart, and whatever your eyes see, but know that for all of these things, God will bring you into judgment. So then banish anxiety from your heart and cast off troubles off your body, for youth and vigor are meaningless." And one translation says they're fleeting. Your youth and your childhood is fleeting. You know, so I've said in my books that so often our wounds start when we're very, very young. And I think that it's really a trick of the enemy to target us sometimes when we're little bitty children because he wants to seize our joy. He wants to take the wonder from us. He wants to take all that we would take through life that would actually give us strength, and he wants to steal it away from us and fill us with anxiety, with depression, with heartache, so that we become sick in our bodies and we become defeated and we feel like we're victims. I was once there, but I'm not anymore. And I am so grateful that God has restored the wonder of childhood, the wonder of looking at his beautiful creation. Everywhere that I look, I mean, even this dead stump that's grown out of the ground, it probably still has life in it. When I look at this, I have such wonder in my heart for the God who created it all. And I know that he wants you to be filled with wonder when you look at your family, when you look at your children, to have wonder again, to not feel like, oh, they're wearing me out and it's such a burden for me every day to try to manage and to try to provide for my family, or when you have to get together with loved ones that you don't necessarily get along with. Be encouraged that the Spirit of God in you can give you wonder for his love for them, and as you look at what he's created, and as you see those people and those things for what he created them to be. And then I want to move on to, in Ecclesiastes 12, it says, remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come, and the years approach you, when you will say, I find no pleasure in them. Are you there where maybe you don't find pleasure in the beauty that's all around you? Maybe it's time for you to say, God, help me to see your beauty again. Help me to appreciate your beauty in your creation and in your people. And so if that's you today, I just want to encourage you that in this season, you know, as I said earlier, we're closing out a decade, and we're going into 2020. And I just really believe it's going to be a year of clarity of mind, clarity of spirit, clarity in our soul, where we're going to begin to understand and see things for what they really are. I believe that the truth is going to become brighter and brighter like a light. And those of us who are his lamp bearers, his light carriers, are those who will be able to go out and offer that to someone else in a gracious way, in a kind way, in a loving way. So be his light, be his wonder, and be the salt of the earth. I love you, excuse me, and I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a happy, happy New Year as you move forward in all of the wonderful things that God has for you. I'm Brenda Crouch, and thank you for joining me today. I know this was a little bit short, but we're going to be at a few more places on the road, and I just appreciate you tuning in. Please share this podcast with all of your friends, and let's continue to journey together and just seek out what God has to say about life and the practical things that we can apply it to. I love you and wish you well. Bye-bye.